Sometimes life lets you down and you feel that you are done. You just want a morning run because the fun is all gone. But sometimes life makes you proud when you look far and wide, when you leave the pain behind and see the brighter side. TNC gives you inspiration. TNC reignites your passion. TNC starts your transformation. TNC helps you see the new you.
The new channel. The new channel.
The views, opinions, and insights expressed in the following show are those of the hosts, producers, guests, and viewers. They do not necessarily reflect the position of the channel. Viewer discretion is advised.
Welcome to the new channel, where we help you to see the new you. I'm Leo Bryan, and this is Foreign Affairs. Hello and welcome to episode 6 of Foreign Affairs. I'm Leo Bryan, your host. Welcome back, everybody. Good to see you. Well, as we know, we're all in a pandemic and we're all dealing with tough times and restrictions and adjusting to new normals, seeing what old normals come back, etc. So today's episode is a little bit of change. It's not so much about foreigners. It's basically for anyone to talk about. But a big issue that has gone down over the course of the pandemic has been the concept of business and how to run businesses, how businesses operate, and how they provide their services and products to the public and to their clients. And now with new restrictions, new situations, new conditions, and new ways of treating each other, many people have had to make a pivot, make a change in the way they do operation. And that is why I'm especially excited to have our guest today. This gentleman has more than 32 years being a serial entrepreneur and mentor here in the Philippine business community and abroad. To start, first of all, he was a 2017 Agora Award winner and a 2019 WE Award for significant entrepreneurship. And he's also a mentor and teacher at the Ateneo University Center for Continuous Education, as well as a mentor with the government's GoNegosyo program, and also a direct mentor and Angelpreneur along with the DTI, the Department of Trade and Industry. But he also has fame because he was the founder and the current president of the Association of Filipino Franchisors Incorporated, which is a body oversees the process of franchisees, the dilemmas, the launches, every step of the way. They're there to help them out and to create more and more opportunities for Filipinos and foreigners alike who want to franchise here in the country. And he is also notably known for being one of the co-founders of the hot franchise Potato Corner, which is now gone global, and the big up-and-comer Tokyo Tempura. And so I would like to welcome this gentleman here to the show. Please, everybody, welcome Mr. George Wieneke.
Yes, hi, good morning.
Hi, George.
Thank you so much for that very generous introduction, Lee. Thank you so
Did
much.
I
Good
leave
morning.
anything out?
No, that's great. No, just one correction. I'm one of the
Please.
one of the founders of AFFI, the Association of Filipino Franchisors. We are 9 when we founded this, so we're 9 there. Okay. But hi, hello, good morning. How are you?
How you doing? Right on. Well, I'm so glad you're here because, like I said in my intro, we're everyone's dealing with a change of pace, a change of style. And as we know, I'm glad you're here for two reasons. First of all, we're going to talk about some franchising concepts, opportunities, ideas, and whatnot. But also, I know you've got a great background in working with resellers and distributors. And as we've seen, you open up anywhere online now, any of the social media platforms, everyone is reselling something, right? So I think it's a great opportunity to have you here to talk and chat about that. First of all, let's break into the franchising. And so I was originally going to intro with the question, what makes a good franchising product? Like, when do you know it's ready to franchise? But you and I were speaking before we came on air, talking specifically about certain examples of franchising opportunities, ideas, concepts. I'm kind of wondering if I should change my question. It's more of like a chicken and egg. Is there products that are good for franchising, or is it you got to franchise the product? Is it the process or is it the content? What do you say, sir, about regarding that?
Okay.
What's your perspective on that?
That's a very, very hard question for an early morning. I have not.
I didn't mean to start. If I had coffee, I'd give it to you.
I'm just joking. Actually, the earlier discussions that we had off the air, actually, people franchise a business model. Okay, they're more attractive to a business model. It's a plug and play. They want a business, they want to franchise. In fact, Lee, what's happening now that we are now experiencing a real evolution. Things are changing, but because of the pandemic, okay, instead of changing, it's now running on a dizziness speed of changes. We are experiencing a evolution, a digital evolution. Yes, digitalization has been there before the pandemic, but we took for granted. We have an option not to use it yet, etc. People are pushing us preparing us for digitalization, but again, before the pandemic, we're taking it for granted. We're taking our time. And then pandemic came, okay, we are now forced in this evolution. And then, of course, people are looking for new things. The world is craving for new things. They're willing to spend for new things. Okay, that's why in franchising, you have to create a business model that has a unique selling proposition. It has to be different. You have to attract the market. You have to lure the market. It has to be relevant to the market. So that's why I think that's what I perceive of franchising.
Okay, good. You bring up a great point. The taking it for granted, or maybe being in such a normalcy before, and now the system has been shook. I wonder how many people, knowing that Facebook, for example, is so popular here in the Philippines. I always kind of wonder how many people have stopped posting so much on Facebook for personal pleasure and are now posting their product line that they're reselling. Where is the attention time gone? I always find that interesting, because I'm sure Facebook isn't just for scrolling anymore and looking at your friends' pictures. Now you got business to take care of, right?
Exactly. I told myself prior to the pandemic, connectivity is 80% of connectivity is for entertainment. So it changed. Now, amidst the pandemic, connectivity is now a vital tool for business. See, that's my observation. Before, you only use connectivity just for email, that's it. Okay, and then during the pandemic, you use connectivity to survive. So that's a change. That's a change that I saw.
Yeah, interesting. And so, in terms of franchises, so going back to the operation and the execution of franchises, one of the things I think would be, it's the elephant in the room in terms of franchises, is the concept of having a location for your franchise and having people consistently come up to it and visit. What have you seen franchises? How have you seen them adjust to the lack of access and the lack of flow of traffic now? Are there certain new characteristics to franchisees and companies in their business model that they've made to adjust to the pandemic?
Okay. In my case, in my own company, I have explored two market penetration. One is the online. We're doing online selling. But the way I see it, if people will start going back to their normal life, they go back to their office, online selling sales will go down. Okay, that's why I also created a physical store, but it's outside the mall. It's now situated in a busy street, in a village, in a community, a small convenience store. That's how we pivot our stores now. Of course, we're not going to leave the malls, but in order for us to survive, I'm experimenting putting stores outside the malls. Okay, putting it in a community-based area. So it's still okay. We created a Tokyo Tempura mobile motorcycle. So
Nice.
one of my observations is that people have more confidence outside the mall now. They feel more safe. That's why I heard from a friend that sales of convenience stores are tremendously high compared to the pre-COVID. Okay, because people they want to go in a small space with less people to buy essentials. So, diba? So I think that's one of the observations that I see. They have more confidence outside the mall.
Interesting. And I see a little side effect to this is the Filipino pastime of going to the mall and just walking down and back and forth to enjoy the AC. That's probably experienced a severe drop, and they're reassessing what new
That's true.
pastimes can be.
That's true.
had.
That's true.
So, moving out. How do you feel about the future of the restriction levels and the access levels? Do you feel they will return quite a bit? They will return just a little. What's your perspective on the future? What's your hope?
Well, of course, I should be bullish. I should be hopeful. I'm hoping that this thing will end. If I'm going to observe there are two things. You have the macro and the micro. Okay, I'm looking at the micro market, and I'm happy that there is a movement in that area. There are commerce activity in that level, and my stores are in that level. Um, yes, it's improving. I could see the light in terms of sales in my company compared to March, April, May. But there is now, it's not the same before COVID, but it's showing me a positive movement and a very hopeful um, movement in that area. And if I talk to people about our economy, of course, there are people saying it will take about 3 years, 2 years. But just recently, I talked to someone, I cannot name his name. He talked to me, called me up and said, I'm very much bullish about 2021. So I think we just have to be positive. We just have to be positive and hopeful. That's all we have now, being hopeful.
That's it. That's all we got control on for most part, right? Attitude,
That's true.
perspective. So I totally agree with you, George. And I think you're bringing up, I think a little theme I'm picking up on is not only instead of sitting and wishing for old normals to return and the old models to come back, is kind of an adaptation, to the new style where, you're talking about going out, take that store outside of the mall, put it down in an LGU in a small little barangay, power to the people, can really make a difference. Going back before the pandemic, what were some characteristics or what were some styles, business models that you saw really caught on here in the Philippines? Like, what were some things that just seemed to always turn good no matter whatever the product?
Well, I will be very, very biased. I think the food is still the safest business for me. Everybody will always buy food. Everybody will always spend for food. In fact, into again my observation during the hard lockdown of the whole Metro Manila, people are still buying steaks. Imagine that. They buy steaks, they buy expensive food to celebrate. In fact, my product during the lockdown, it's 900. I sell it 900 tempura with 90 pieces of shrimp. But they buy my product for celebration inside the house. So they buy it. I think Filipinos, they love to eat and they will always spend money. That's why for me, in my own opinion, food is the safest business. Although I'm a little bit biased because since 1992, I'm into food. I could see the sales. It's moving. It's really moving. It's giving me hope, and that's food. And that's food.
Yeah, I
Of
think
course, if your business is essentials, okay, you'll be doing very well. If you're selling, if you're selling vitamins, medicines, you have franchise, pharmaceutical doc, yung mga ganon. So they're doing very well.
well, and first of all bias is welcome on this show, so feel free to be biased. Never going to judge you on that. Second of all, as a co-food manufacturer, we absolutely agree with the condone your message. We support it and stand by.
You validated my statement immediately.
Absolutely. I mean, I think it's funny too. I noticed right at the beginning, the big thing, if you watch the news or you hear on social media and everyone's worried about, panic buying. Let's be honest, the panic buying was the big sirloin steak. There was the 90 pieces or 900 pieces of shrimp for the family because you don't know if that's going to be available next week. So you're going to go out and get it quick. But I after only 5 years in this country, you're absolutely right. Filipinos love to eat. They do not. In fact, I admire as a foreigner. I notice I love the ability of Filipinos when they come over to your house. If you have a get together, if you go to a get together or they come to your house, there's no time for small talk. Like, you go straight for the food. Like, everyone goes, sits down, you get it on, and it's that's when you start talking. You need to get something in your stomach, and then you can catch up. That's when small talk comes out, right?
You forgot something. When you go home, you have to bring home food.
Yes, the Tupper. Never forget the Tupperware. Yes, yes.
Yeah. Imagine that.
It just
Food
and then
for everybody.
while you're eating, while you're eating, make sure you talk about your other favorite food too. So don't let it, keep it in thought and keep it on the table. You got to have it in both places at once. For
Very Pinoy.
sure.
Uh, but and
Very
also,
Pinoy.
when you eat, don't forget the patis and the toyo. It's a
There it
mortal
is.
sin. It's a mortal sin. The patis, the toyo, and the bagoong. It's a mortal
That's
sin.
it.
Oh,
Absolutely. Absolutely. So let's get back. Let's get back to the franchising. Um, so what? Like for example, what was? Let's take a personal example of yours. I know Tokyo Tempura is heading that way, but I'm very well aware of Potato Corner. Um, you guys are now international, right? So I know you're over in the Middle East. I think you're in other parts of Asia. What did you see as, were there uniform adjustments that you guys made on the international stage, and then conversely, what were some unique things maybe about the Middle East that weren't happening in the Philippines for Potato Corner in terms of managing the franchise?
okay. I'm afraid I cannot answer that question because I was just in the beginning. I conceptualized the whole
Okay.
concept about, I think it's already 19 years ago. I sold my share. One thing nice about
Okay.
that,
Never
one
mind.
thing nice about that product, it's easy to uniform. It's easy to standardize everything because they only sell one kind, one core product. Um, it's the whole since in the beginning, the brand, the colors has been really set for international. In fact, since I said I was just in the beginning, I created it, I conceptualized it together. Then I invited my friends to join me. The four guys has their own strength actually. It was a good combination. The guy has an operation background. The other guy is into a very very aggressive attitude towards quality work. The other guy has an experience first on how to run a kiosk in the mall, and he lent us money for capitalization. And then me, since I work for the ad agency, it was the concept, the name, the colors I did, and then of course, um, my late father-in-law really helped us to really source the raw material because in 1992 you cannot get this raw material, the
Right.
imported fries. It was really it was a really perfect group. Um, but the international, no, I, I am not privileged in any information. But again, it's
Okay.
easy to start. The whole concept is already set for international.
Yeah.
Uh, I mean, I mean, French fries is no foreign to you. So
No, it is.
if I sell you bibingka in the US, you might be, what's that?
Yeah.
Uh,
Yes.
but if you see
Yes.
a French fries in the US, wow, that's awesome idea. I didn't know that you can put barbecue cheese in a French fries. We all know that French
Right.
fries is partnered with burgers.
Yes.
So that was already projected.
Yeah.
It was during the time that I was with them, the dream was really to bring it in America. That was really the dream. That was really the dream. Okay. The other guy pursued the dream. Uh, let's give it. Let's give the credit to that guy. He was the one in charge of making it in America, bringing potato corner in America. But I'm just in the beginning. I love to create. I'd like to innovate. I'd like to be
Got
a
it.
disruptor. I'd like to be a
Okay.
creative director. I'd like to create things. You witnessed us earlier. Earlier, we just
Yeah.
created a business
Absolutely.
concept for you.
Yeah. Like that.
Okay. Yeah.
you know,
You're
and
breaking,
that's
Lee. You're breaking.
yeah. Well, that's great. Did maybe. Oh, sorry. So maybe to to keep in that vein, have you seen maybe with other franchises through the AFFI, have you seen interesting kind of adjustments or pivots that they have made, either here or abroad?
Well, for amidst the pandemic, okay, or present now, uh, they're all doing pivoting through online selling, and they're also experimenting what I showed them to them. They're also experimenting co-branding outside the mall. They're also experimenting putting up a store outside the mall. So basically, they're observing what I'm doing also.
Got it.
Uh,
But there's quite a few that are taking to heart what you have taught. Have you seen quite a few start to brand in external locations outside of malls?
yep, we have several members like Maxi Mango is opening outside the mall. Uh, I think one of our members also is planning to put their product in a mobile motorcycle, like what I'm doing, So I, I have no problems with that. In fact, I post things I do to share because I mean this is a we're in a crisis. We're in a season of crisis. I think we need to help each other. So if I see what I did is a success, I normally share the stories to my members. And it's up to them if they want to follow or not. It's up to them. As long I tell them, I share my case study to them, and it will help them, I'm very, very happy already. Wisdom and experience and
Absolutely.
stories must be shared, or else he'll get mad at you.
Amen to that. I definitely agree with that. Don't keep it bottled up inside. It won't go anywhere.
That's
It doesn't have a good shelf
that's
life,
true.
does it?
That's right. I like that.
So, well, actually, you bring up a great point. Like during this pandemic, one thing I've tried to tell people, and I've spoken to a lot of people about, is helping each other out. Like if you've got friends that are reselling online, I look for my friends and I try and buy from them. If I see people who are small time, maybe who are down and out, they're doing this just to survive, I'm gonna buy from them. Um, I think it's a great transition to talk a little bit about the new BUYanihan program that you have started with along with your wife, Jenny. Can
Okay.
you explain just a little bit of like where that came from, and then also like the facets to it? Because just last week I was on the podcast on the interview program portion, so there's like a resource portion. But explain, a little bit about where that came from and the structure of the BUYanihan program.
Okay. Yes, I love telling the story where Bayanihan started. Well,
Absolutely.
during April, since the government declared um, everything will be closed, we were afraid that when we go back, we might have to pay the malls. So we're doing lobbying, convincing government to help the micro, small, medium enterprise, to talk to the malls that to give us at least a concession on rentals, which I think we got it. When the mall supported the micro, small, medium enterprise, other problems we saw. Uh, the problem that we saw is that the micro, small, medium enterprise community are losing hope, and we don't want them to lose hope. So we thought of a program or a campaign to give hope to the micro, small, medium enterprise, to give hope to the consumer. So we created a TV commercial that's the TV commercial that has a message to give hope and to support the micro, small, medium enterprise. And then of course, we ask help from a multinational advertising agency, which is owned by Hill Chua. Forever, I will forever be grateful to Hill for agreeing and helping us. And then when he agreed to create a campaign with us, AFFI, we asked Mr. Gary Valenciano if he can do or create a song for this MPV. So he said, yes, I'll do it, okay, for free also. So we asked several association groups to join us in this campaign. So last August, we launched the TV commercial. Okay, sorry, last July, we launched this TV commercial. We call it Bayanihan. Okay, and that's the first leg. The second leg is the creation of a podcast, which we can house micro, small, medium enterprise to promote their products and also an information in support with the micro, small, medium enterprise. On November, we will be launching the first resellers virtual expo powered by PLDT KaAsenso. Okay, this will be on the second week of November, and it's for free for all those who are interested to join. Again, this is focused in helping our small medium enterprise. So hopefully we can still do more activities in the future for Bayanihan.
That's great. I love it. I was so happy to hear when I connected with Jenny to hear about this. Jenny, your wife, and she told me about the idea. We were, it's funny. This is such a small world. Your nephew was shooting our vlog videos with my girlfriend and myself. We got introduced to Jenny. I was originally going to go to the franchising expo back in February or March, and then the pandemic hit. And then another mutual friend of ours, Melissa, was going to introduce us. So, it's funny how all these things kind of circulate, and I'm really happy to see, the way you guys have stepped up in that sense, because I've seen the results and I've seen what you guys are doing, and we're very excited to participate in that expo, and hopefully we'd love to have the chance. And it's just like this. Go ahead.
I was just surprised because I didn't imagine that I could convince a superstar, a multinational agency, a big association to do this. At first, it was impossible. It's just that, my wife would always tell me, I am a maverick guy. In fact, I'd like to have a hacker's mindset, because hackers, they find ways to make the idea into reality. Again, I'm not promoting you guys to be a hacker, but the hacker's mindset, they normally break the barrier. They break the barrier,
Yes.
they go around. And I think that's a secret in surviving this crisis.
Perfectly said. Perfectly said. Hey, George, with that, we're going to hit the first commercial break. When we come back, let's keep talking about this. Let's keep talking about hackers from an objective perspective, and we'll even get into some resellers. So everybody, you're watching the new channel. Well, as you know, welcome back to the new channel. As you know, Foreign Affairs is not the only show here on the channel. There's actually 24 shows now broadcast here on the new channel just about every day of the week at all hours of the day. And as you can see on the screen, the variety, the different titles and themes that get covered here are amazing. And as I've mentioned before, this is another nice sign of hope and shining light through the pandemic. This was created back in April, and since then we've grown to 24 shows. You know, some of the shows we're talking about that you can watch here we've got the Big Picture, Inspiring Stories of Notable Personalities, which is Mondays to Fridays at 7 p.m. And we've also got Human Resources Management on HR Hotline. It's Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays at 12 noon. The Family Business is Everyone's Business on Saturdays at 4 p.m. Life, Business, and Success Stories on the Fourth Project. That's Saturdays at 10 p.m. Dubai, 6 p.m. Philippines. Beauty Beyond What Your Eyes Can See, the very popular Usapang Beauty Show. It's on Saturdays at 5:30 p.m. Time to hear positive stories from those who recovered. This is a great, great idea. COVID stories on Saturdays at 10:30 a.m. Life Purpose and Turnaround Stories on U-Turn, Mondays and Thursdays at 10:30 a.m. Build and Own a Property, The Home Buyer, Mondays and Thursdays, 4 p.m. Laugh and Learn from Puppetry Arts Around the World, The Puppet Stories, Mondays at 5:30 p.m. Magbenta Bumili at Tumulong Dahil Bukas na ang TNC Marketplace. It's an online night bazaar, Thursdays and Fridays at 10 p.m. Know Your Rights and the Basic Law on YOLA, Thursdays at 8:30 p.m. Learn About Money and More, Tuesdays, 8:30 p.m. Philippines, 5:30 a.m. USA. Two Leaders in One Platform, TNC The Talk, Mondays at 12 noon. Chill and Booze, After Shift, Wednesday and Fridays at 8:30 p.m. Strategize and Win in Life through Win Within. That's a Saturdays at 8:30 p.m. For kids, we have Dream, Achieve, Nurture, and Inspire. You watch Danny Art Show from Fridays at 5:30 p.m. Because health is wealth. The Health Line is on Wednesdays and Fridays at 4 p.m. Celebrate Women at Work, 9 a.m. Saturdays. Always Have an Awesome Day. It's another show on Mondays at 2:30 p.m. Cyber Next empowers people and companies to be secured in the digital world. That's Wednesdays at 12 noon. Know the Emergency Technology Shaping Our Future on Tech U, Fridays at 2:30 p.m. And then we also have other types of shows on the TNC original shows, such as One Day, a live storytelling, and that alternates with TNC Town Hall, co-hosted by TNC founders Lloyd and Apple, a show where we talk to you, our valued audience. And then, of course, you are now watching Learn Together Across Borders, the show Foreign Affairs, shows every Tuesday at 10:30 a.m. There are more upcoming TNC shows, so we'll move on beyond the 24 shows we have now that will truly inspire you. So please follow our channel on Facebook and YouTube, and let us help you #see the new you. So let's bring Sir George back in here. Mr. George, come on in. And I'm going to be very frank with you. I'm having spend some time in Latin America, so I'll be honest, I'm having a hard time calling you George. I'm dying to call you Jorge.
Yeah, I'm okay with Jorge. You can
You're
call
good.
me Jorge.
All right.
I'm
So
good.
it might slip out. It might slip out here and
I'm
there,
okay.
so don't mind me.
It's supposed to be Jorge, actually. Jorge.
It is, okay. Either way. I respect whatever you prefer being called, so it's all good. So we were talking about franchises before, and then we started moving over into the resellers world. Let's talk a little bit about reselling and distributors. First of all, if you could make the distinction for our audience, what is the difference between a distributor and a reseller?
Okay.
In your opinion?
A reseller and a distributor are practically the same. They distribute and sell one product. It's a product base. Let's say I sell bagoong or toyo. Okay, that's one. A franchising is you sell, a business model itself. It's a system. It has a system. So that's a differentiator between. Actually, all of them, the three, franchising, distribution, and resellers are cousins. They're all cousins. They have the same DNA.
Got it. Got it. So when let's talk about when you're getting into resellers and distributors. And I'm going to be a little selfish here. I'm going to utilize our own company, Pokely Food Products. As I mentioned before, we create suka, laing, aligay, all kinds of classic Filipino ulam.
I love
Tuyo,
it.
tinapa, pagong, and we're getting into jams too. Thank you very much. Yeah, we are at the point now where we have a nice product. It's pretty popular. Just getting good reviews. Yourself, case in point, and we also have the notoriety of having. I call it 1.5 celebrities. I know my girlfriend's a celebrity. I consider myself that guy she's with, so I don't know how much of a celebrity I am. But we're both, celebrities in our own levels. When a company, such as ours, we're getting demand to have resellers. We're, asking a lot of, we have some people, asking, hey, can we resell your product? Can we distribute your product, etc. What are some things that a company like ours, first of all, what are requisites that you usually want to have when someone wants to resell your product?
Okay. Number one, I think your product must be registered, okay, duly registered, recognized by the government. It has to have a government personality, okay, legal personality. I'm sorry. And then number two, you must create a called resellers program. Put a structure on the resellers. Number four, I think you must offer a profit that is very attractive to your resellers in order for them to earn and in order for them to maintain them. Number two, you have to create an incentive programs for your resellers for you not to lose them. Okay, and then the last is you must have several products for your resellers to sell, because definitely there will come a time that your resellers area will have a product fatigue already.
Okay. Okay. So, first off, you spoke of having an attractive incentive program for your resellers to retain them. What are some characteristics or what are some methods of having attractive apart? Let's say, commission. The commission base is one. The margin is one thing to play with. What other
That's
kinds
why.
of techniques have you found that really work for retaining your sellers?
Well, number one is the continue talking to them, create a program where you can educate them on how to sell, how to talk, etc. And then give them incentives like a point system. If they sell more than what you expect, you give them a reward, you give them a discount, or you give them a point system, or you even give them a raffle, a raffle ticket for your own raffle activities in your own company. Let's say if I sell more than 200,000 gross sales a month, I get a point, and then that point represents a certain price. Let's say a new cell phone, TV, or a computer. So those things. So it's a method to make them attached to the product and to the company.
Got it. Got it. And what do you recommend? Let's say for kind of smaller time producers, how would you recommend specifically to get your products recognized by the government? What exactly would you say are like the steps for some small time producers? They got the new product, they just created it now during the pandemic, let's say. what should be their stepping stones getting to government recognition?
Okay, number one is contact your local DTI, okay, because the local DTI will definitely help you and introduce you to the other branches of government like the BFOD, the FBA, the LTO. They have seminars and they have guidelines on how to register. In fact, there are many ways. Your logo, your packaging, okay, there are guidelines. There are guidelines. Your DTI can help you with that. Right? We have about 1,000 negosyo centers all over the place. And this is what DTI wants. DTI's core objective is to really help the small medium enterprise.
Got it.
Lucky you guys,
Okay.
when we started in 1992, you know, entrepreneurship is not yet that famous. There are few seminars about entrepreneurship, about marketing, about FDA things. In 1995, in 1992, when I started, we did everything like trial and error. The new entrepreneurs in this country now are very, very lucky. During my time, there's no podcast, no sharing, no show sharing of information. There's no seminars. There's no school about entrepreneurship during that time. In fact, the word entrepreneurship was not used during that time. So very
Yeah.
lucky, guys.
It,
You're
it,
very,
that,
very lucky.
well, I'm glad you said that, George, because I've heard, since the advent of the internet and the need to label, promote, and brand everything that we do in life, entrepreneurship has become this pastime hustle. So much more than, someone had a great business idea, 30, 40, 50 years ago. Now it's something where, you put it in your bio on your social media as entrepreneur, like it's a label in life, and I think you bring up a great point about the resources, especially. I've gone to a few GoNegosyo seminars. I've gone to some DTI, some other different institutes here in the country, for food safety and for food operations and whatnot. And it's true, the resources are out there. So definitely, what was that? I guess in that sense, what would be a great what was a lesson that you learned pretty hard back in 1992 or mid 90s? What was something off the top of your head, just one that you remember? You already mentioned the potatoes, right? The importing the potatoes for the franchise, the potato corner franchise. What was something else you had to learn falling on your face, for lack of a better
Well,
phrase?
actually, one thing I learned during 1992, my journey as an entrepreneur, if you want to be an entrepreneur, you must have a strong entrepreneurial mindset. Okay. Of course, you've heard a lot of the word entrepreneurial mindset. Okay. The meaning of that is what is your mental state? Your mental state is to succeed in life. Your mental state is to really create a company for your family. If you have that strong mental state, you will succeed. Number two, you must cultivate an innovation mindset. Okay, it has to be balanced. The innovation mindset and entrepreneurial mindset must be balanced. Okay, that's why I always promote. Okay, the key to survival, especially this crisis, this pandemic, is really innovation or being creative. If you're not creative, you're not going to succeed. We saw a lot of people. A lot of people lost their job, they got laid off, or FW was coming home. What they did was they created new things to survive. All of them went underground selling things to survive for their family. In fact, some of them is earning more than before COVID-19.
Absolutely. That's Great advice. Great advice. And thank you for sharing that. Appreciate that. George, with that, we're going to go ahead another commercial break, but we will be right back to the new channel.
Great, just in time for my phone.
Yeah. Welcome back to Foreign Affairs. I'm Lee O'Brien, your host. I am learning quite a bit today, so this is a great episode. Would like Mr. George Wieneke to come on back in here, sir.
I'm back. I'm here.
Gotcha. So,
Lee,
thank
question.
you for being. Yeah,
I have a question for you.
absolutely. Go for it.
Do you really know yourself as an entrepreneur?
I think I know a lot of parts of myself. I don't feel like personally as an entrepreneur I have a full complete vision of me, but I know some strengths, I know some weaknesses. Yeah.
Are you
Not a complete picture, not yet.
You have to reflect tonight. Are you a critical person or a creative person?
The Libra in me says a little of both.
Okay.
I feel like I jump. Like I feel like I can create, but I also I can get pretty critical like of things. Yeah, and like lots of analysis.
Okay. Remove that from your system. Be creative. As I said
Just be
earlier,
creative. Okay.
have hacker's mindset. In order for you to create a great product, a great company, a great business model, you must have the hacker's mindset. Okay? Hacker's mindset, I'll give you one example. Every barrier can be penetrated. They will find ways to make that idea into reality. Okay. Number two, they can jiu-jitsu flip norms. Okay, they can flip the norms to create a new norms, and that's how they think. Again, I'm not promoting you guys to be a hacker. It's just the mindset of the hacker in terms of business. Okay. Number three, okay, they can break the rule. They can break the rule to get profits. Again, not the real rule, not the government rule. Okay, don't get me wrong. Okay, I broke the rule. When I created Tokyo Tempura, everybody was telling me, you cannot sell tempura without the rice. You know, you only eat tempura in a fancy Japanese restaurant. Because that's the rule. That's the norm. So I flipped the norm. I challenged the rule. I changed the rule. And I'm here 8 years. 1992, they said, you cannot sell French fries alone without the burgers. You know, people love to eat French fries with burgers. They want to eat burgers in a country club. They want to eat burgers in McDonald's or a food chain. Who will buy you French fries with flavoring? Come on. That was the norms and that was the rule. So if we flip the rule, we broke the rule to earn for profits. Okay? And we always seek at the unexpected. We were not expecting. We were not expecting that people will buy our product. Okay? And of course, Lee, you have to fail 7 times and stand on 8. So these are the reflections that you must ask yourself tonight. I hope uh, I hope you're okay with those questions, and I'm happy that you're my guest in my show. Okay, I'm George Wieneke, and this is the Foreign Affair Show, and Lee is my guest. No, joke lang. I'm just joking. So I just wanted to bring that up.
It's going that way, and I really don't have a problem with it. My pleasure.
All right, nice one.
Absolutely.
Uh-huh.
That was a perfect example of flipping the norms. The, the host is just getting interviewed out by everyone. Yeah, so
Oh, that's flipping the norm. Sorry,
I like
sorry
it.
for that.
I like it.
Oh my God, this is
I don't mind that. I don't mind that. We're here to talk. Sometimes, yeah. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Absolutely. Well, then let's wrap it up and let's look forward to the future.
All right.
Where do you see, not only your personal franchises, but also, the AFFI, BUYanihan, and more importantly, and then not more importantly, but as important and on a bigger scale, where do you see the business sector? Like, what are your hopes, and what do you maybe a prediction or two?
Well, number one, of course, I'm hoping for the best. I'm hoping for the best for everybody. I pray every day for everybody. Yes, it was. We were all in a shock. We were all disturbed by the pandemic. We were all running in. We were all running. We are in a marathon race, but all of a sudden, the pandemic came. So all of us will be in the starting line. And I'm hoping that really all of us will be in the starting line. Yes, there are learnings. There are learnings with, in this pandemic. And hopefully, those learnings we can also adapt when we go back to the normal life. I think that one of the learnings is digitalization, work from home. I think work from home is really okay. It saves you gas. It saves you gas money for parking, the traffic in EDSA, and then I'm really I really like the Zoom and the work from home thing. And then of course the digitalization. Now it becomes we became mature in using connectivity. I said mature because before we all use connectivity for entertainment or Netflix, browsing your Facebook. Now connectivity becomes your vital equipment for your business. And these are the learnings that we learned during the lockdown, during the pandemic, that we should adapt when we face the new normal or the normal situation.
Right on. That's great. You left me without questions, George. I think we're gonna end it there, man. I think you said it. I mean, you said it very well, and I totally agree. And I think the big takeaway too is that first part where you said praying for everybody. Because we are all in this together, and traumas and pandemics and stuff can make you very much look immediate and get in survival mode for yourself and the immediate people around you. But it's very interesting, and it's almost calming to know sometimes that we're all experiencing it, and that's very reassuring. And I appreciate you recognizing that, and George, I thank you for coming on today, man. I appreciate what you're doing. I know what you and Jenny and your groups are doing, and apart from having crazy good tempura, you're also, you're not just feeding good fish, you're teaching people how to fish right. So really appreciate you being on today, and thank you for all you do, George. Appreciate it, man.
Thank you so much for inviting me. I really a great honor to be invited in your show. I'm happy that I'm here. I'm happy that I was able to share. I'm happy that we were able to talk. Okay, so I'm very, very happy. Thank you again. Thank you so much, and more power to your show. More power to your show.
Thank you very much.
More laing, more vinegar, more everything.
There's a lot of that coming up in the future. Yes.
Great.
It's a masarap future, definitely.
Very good, very good.
Right on. Well, thank you, George. Appreciate it. You take care, all right?
You too. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Bless, and be safe. And remember, this is also the season of discipline. Okay. Be safe. Wear your mask, wear your shield, wash your hands, and don't hold your face. Thank you so much.
Thank you, George. Appreciate it. Well, I'll tell you, I was excited for this episode. I was excited to talk with George. I know, his background. I know his wisdom and experience was there already. But I'll tell you, this episode was for me was amazing. I hope it was exactly the same for you. Listening and learning from him, and if anything, I learned a bunch, and now I'm starting to think a bunch. Like it started stimulating kind of what if and why kind of questions. So really, really appreciate George Wieneke for being on this week's episode of Foreign Affairs. Guys, tune back in next Tuesday, 10:30 a.m. We will be back on here, the new channel. Appreciate all of you tuning in, and make sure you follow us here either on Facebook or YouTube. We do our live streams and we repeat the episodes. And if any of you liked what you saw today, take the episode, share that link with your friends, turn them on to Foreign Affairs, turn them on to the new channel. We're going to keep coming at you with our 24 shows that are growing every day, and would really appreciate it. I'm Leo O'Brien. I also want to plug and let you guys know about Pokely Food Products. You can check us out on Instagram or Facebook at Pokely Food Products. Those of you in the Philippines, we are definitely delivering to you, be it by land, water, or air. Those of you abroad, please have patience. We're going to come to you. That is the dream. We want to be abroad getting you a delicious ulam. And also check out our vlog on YouTube, Pokwong and myself, on Pokely Cooking official vlog. We're on YouTube channel, Cooking Up Love. That's what we do. So anyways, thank you all for tuning in this week to Foreign Affairs. I will see you guys next week, 10:30 a.m. Tuesday, here on the new channel. Bye-bye.